How to be an adult in a relationships. The 5 keys to mindful loving. Would you like to know more about giving love and receiving love? Love might seem like a puzzle. No matter how much we love or how long, love can be hard to understand. Many people think of love as a strong feeling of liking someone, but David Richo thinks about it differently. He believes love is a way of being together. Love helps us know each other and the world better. We all can love and be loved, but if someone didn't get cared for when they were little, or if someone was hurt before, they might find it tricky to connect and stay with someone. Using an idea from Buddhism called mindfulness, we'll learn about things you can do to fix problems from when you were young, not be afraid of being close, and make happier relationships. Chapter 1. Understanding love and caring. What is your earliest memory from when you were a little kid? Maybe it's your mom or dad reading you a story or helping you when you got hurt. When we're kids, we need our parents to make us feel safe and happy. The things we want from them to make us feel good can be remembered with 5 words: attention, acceptance, appreciation, affection, and allowing. These 5 things are super important for helping us grow up feeling good about ourselves. They're also really important when we grow up and have special people in our lives. At every time in our lives, we need the love and care of people who listen to our feelings and take care of us. These 5 things help us feel strong inside, stay calm, and know how to love others and let them love us. Now let's look at these 5 things. First, there's attention. This means really listening to the thoughts and feelings of the people we care about. We should listen carefully when they tell us about things that made them sad or scared. Next, there's acceptance. This means liking ourselves and our friends just the way we are. When someone loves us, we don't need to pretend to be something we're not. The third thing is appreciation. This means understanding and liking the special things about our friends. We should also help them with their dreams and wishes. Affection is the 4th thing. This means giving hugs, holding hands, and smiling at our friends. When our friends do these things, it makes us feel warm and happy, like when we were little. The last thing is allowing. This means letting things be as they are and not trying to control everything. Being present means loving and letting ourselves be loved. Remember, these 5 things are really important for good relationships and for feeling happy and loved. Chapter 2. How our childhood shapes our feelings. When David Richo was a kid, he used to spend a lot of time during the summers at his Aunt Margaret's farm. He remembers how her fridge was always full of food, while the one at his parents' house was mostly empty. As he got older, he realized that when he was a child, he felt hungry not only for food, but also for love. He told himself that his parents did their best, but he still felt like he didn't get enough love and care. The way we were treated when we were young can affect how we act in relationships when we're older. For example, if someone didn't have a happy childhood, they might let their partner treat them badly when they're grown-ups. Why does this happen? Well, if kids who were treated badly still love their parents even though they were hurt, they might think, "I'll keep going back for love, even though it hurts." This can make it hard for them to leave hurtful relationships when they're adults. Because of this, many adults stay in relationships that are not good for them. They might think it's their fault that their partner is treating them badly, instead of blaming their partner. Lots of kids who were hurt don't ask for help with their feelings. Instead, they might show the same hurt feelings in their grown-up relationships. For example, if they grew up in families where there was lots of fighting, they might think it's normal to fight with their partners too. So, how can we stop this from happening? First, we need to make our past hurt feelings feel better. We do this by talking about our sad memories with someone we trust, like a friend or a therapist. When we do this, we start to feel like someone understands us and cares about our feelings. When someone listens and understands, we start to feel better about ourselves. We learn how to give and get love. Chapter 3. Learning about mindfulness. Have you ever tried making bread? If you have, you know that it's a process. First, you knead the dough and then sit and wait for it to rise. Only then can you put it in the oven to bake. This is a bit like how the author handles problems. He mixes finding bad thoughts and feelings with staying quiet and calm. When the author helps people, he uses two things: ideas from talking about feelings and an old practice called mindfulness. Sound tricky? Let's see how it works. First, he talks with people to find out their problems and how they feel about them. Then he asks them to keep these feelings until they change or show something deeper inside them. After that, he uses mindfulness. It's like a way to pay attention to what's happening right now. People learn to notice thoughts and feelings, but instead of keeping them, they learn to let them go. Mindfulness is about using 5 things: paying attention, liking what's happening, feeling happy about it, being kind to it, and letting things be the way they are. So, how can you use mindfulness every day? One way is to do meditation. You can start with a few minutes each day and do more over time. Sit in a quiet place with your eyes open or closed. Sit up straight and put your hands on your lap. Watch your breath. When thoughts come, notice them, say "thoughts," and go back to breathing. It needs practice. Soon, your breath will help you forget distracting thoughts. Just like baking bread takes work and patience, staying happy and calm in your heart needs practice. To make old problems better, you need to work on them and then let them go. Chapter 4. Love and caring for yourself. In movies, love often happens unexpectedly. A woman is walking down the street and she accidentally bumps into a man. They both smile at each other, talk, and decide to meet again. By the end of the movie, they're getting married. This may seem like a fairy tale, but it can happen in real life too. When we're happy with ourselves and not trying too hard to find love, it creates space for the right person to come into our lives. Getting to know someone new can be scary, especially if we've been hurt before. That's why it's important to take care of yourself when you're dating. So, how can you do that? First, promise yourself that you won't change who you are to make someone like you. Trying to be someone you're not can make you feel bad about yourself. Before you go on your next date, say to yourself, "I want a partner, but I'm taking care of myself first and I'm protecting my feelings." When it comes to picking a partner, it's important to choose someone who wants the same kind of relationship as you do. Some people like easygoing relationships or just being friends, while others want a deep connection. Before starting a relationship, make a list of what you need and what's important to you. The best situation is when both of you want the same thing and can make each other happy. Finding the right partner means being open to new people in your life, but you also need to love yourself enough to share your needs and wants. Chapter 5. A Journey Through Phases. Albert Einstein once said that we can learn about our lives by looking at nature. What did he mean? Well, in nature, things happen in cycles. For example, a rose starts as a bud, then it blooms, later it fades away, and then it starts as a bud again. We can think of relationships in a similar way. They start with happy and loving moments. romance. Then there might be times when people disagree or have problems, conflict. And eventually, they make a promise to stay together, commitment. These cycles can happen more than once in a relationship. We know that love is real when it stays strong through all these phases. Let's look at each of these stages. First, there's romance. Very exciting and happy feeling. But this feeling doesn't last forever, just like how flowers don't bloom all the time. Sometimes, people break up when the excitement of romance goes away. After romance, there's conflict. This is when you start to see the not-so-perfect parts of each other. It's normal, and it helps build a strong relationship. Without some disagreements, we might forget who we really are. If couples can work together to solve their problems during the conflict stage, they can move to the commitment stage. But what does commitment mean? In a committed relationship, couples can give and receive love and care. They try to find solutions when they have arguments. They may still argue sometimes, but they don't stop loving each other. So, if your relationship goes from a happy phase to a tough phase, it's okay. Being able to move through these phases makes relationships strong and long-lasting. Chapter 6. Dealing with feelings in relationships. When we're in love, it's hard to imagine ever feeling scared around the person we care about. But as relationships go on and we get closer, sometimes we start to worry about things like being let down or getting too close. Don't worry, this is normal. In fact, these worries can even make our relationship stronger, as long as we don't let them take over. There are two main worries in relationships that we need to face: engulfment and abandonment. What do these big words mean? Well, engulfment is when we're scared that if someone gets too close to us, we might lose our freedom. This can happen if someone pays us a lot of attention or affection, but doesn't really accept us for who we are. Then there's abandonment, which is when we're afraid that someone will leave us and we'll feel really, really sad. This happens when we feel like we're not getting enough attention, appreciation, or affection. Both of these worries make us feel powerless, like we have no control. So how can we deal with these feelings? The author suggests using something called the AAA approach: admit, allow, and act as if. First, you admit your fears. This means telling yourself and others what you're afraid of without blaming anyone. For example, you could say to your friend, "I'm scared to get close to you because..." Next, you allow yourself to feel these fears without saying they're bad. This is a bit like our practice of mindfulness. We let our feelings come up, we understand them, and then we let them go. Finally, act like you're not scared. For instance, if you're worried about being left alone, try staying away from your friend for just a bit longer each day. If you're scared of getting too close, try spending a little more time with your friend each day. Dealing with our fears means letting ourselves feel them. We can only get better at handling fear if we learn to be okay with feeling a bit uncomfortable. Chapter 7. Saying goodbye and moving forward. Have you ever had to say goodbye to a special friend? It can feel really sad. When you end a relationship, it's not just saying goodbye to your partner. It's also saying goodbye to all the fun times you had together and all the work you put into being a couple. But sometimes, it's even sadder to keep trying to be together when it's not working anymore. If you feel like your relationship is slowly becoming less strong, it might be better to let it go. Here are some signs that a relationship might be ending. You don't feel happy and safe with your partner anymore. You don't spend much time together, and it's hard to be close like before. You don't trust your partner. You can't love, respect, and support each other like you used to. If you notice these things happening, it might be time to talk to your friend about how you feel. It's important to try to understand each other. After that, it's okay to be sad and take some time alone to feel better. You don't have to rush into new relationship. You can learn from the old ones. And remember, ending a relationship doesn't have to be all bad. It can also be a fresh start. You can take what you learned from your old relationship and use it to build something new. Chapter 8. Learning to love others. One of the author's earliest memories is feeling loved by his grandma. When his mom wasn't around, his grandma would sit with him while he did puzzles or listen to his favorite radio show. As a grown-up, the author always remembers how safe and cared for he felt with his grandma. Her love taught him how to love others. When we become adults and have relationships, we learn how to love. The author thinks that this helps us learn how to love the entire world. How does this work? It's about making promises and keeping them. When we promise to be kind, listen, and help one person, we learn how to do it for others. Conclusion. In happy relationships, there are 5 things that show love: attention, acceptance, appreciation, affection, and being allowed to be yourself. When we give and get these 5 things, our relationships become better, and they can even make the world a better place. The end. Thank you for watching.